as a journalist, I love a good story with a lot of twists and turns.
Right.
I don't like the kind of movie you can summarize in 2 sentences.
Right.
But from your perspective, what's it like to try to describe it without giving too much away?
It's difficult because the movie also is built around a premise that we have to hide. And we are very thankful to journalists that they have been doing that since we opened the movie in Europe like a couple of months ago. So it's difficult, but basically what I can say is it's a movie that tells the story of a plastic surgeon who is going to actually execute an experiment and that is beyond, you know, your expectations. That has to do with power, that has to do with identity, that has to do with survival, and that has to do at the end with creation. I think this movie reflects very much about that. It's almost like a big metaphor that is floating during the whole entire narrative process in which we are reflecting about the possibility of create life. And as an artist, you can do that too. You can create life, you can create universes, you can bend identities and people, actually.
So speaking of creating a character, when I think of you, I think of charming and passionate and full of life. This character, however, from what I understand, you're called to be, the word was, inexpressive. Tell me how that was for you to try to do that, which you did, and also, was it easier to accomplish that in your native language?
It was difficult, but it would have been in any language. But the character, yes, is very inexpressive. He doesn't show his emotions at all. It has to do with the nature of the character, but at the same time it has to do with the narrative process that Pedro Almodovar wanted to put on the screen. He wanted to have a character that actually is a wide screen in which the audience can write whatever horrors they have inside. And don't try to just put parameters and limit to the character. So if you make him limitless, Pedro thought, and I thought with him too, that the character becomes more eerie and any door can be open. You don't know what is going to be the next move, the next reaction. You never know anything. And so that is very interesting, because we are not trying to create a horror movie that is just booing you like, oh, you know, and scaring you behind a corner. No, 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 it's icy and it's way more subtle than that. And the movie may hit you even a couple of days later. People who watch this movie retain whatever experience they had with it during a long time, you know, and that is interesting. But it definitely was difficult to create, because that's not what I have been doing, you know, in the last years. I do more festive characters, you know, more theoretically sympathetic to audience and stuff like that. And this character is cold as a piece of ice.